Yeah, Trey, man, thank you so much for coming on my stream. Call it a podcast or a stream or whatever. I've been viewing your shit for a while now. Obviously, this is not PG-13. Don't worry, everyone's an adult here. If you're not an adult, probably not the place for you to be either. Probably go play some Fortnite or something. But I've been like lurking your stream here and there, man. And you seem like a pretty cool guy, obviously, and you seem like you have a lot of years of experience. I went on your YouTube. And I saw that you have like some videos from way back then. And so I kind of wanted to just chat about your strategy and your journey and just kind of shoot the shit. So thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
All right, so let's get started. Like, first of all, dude, I'm always curious on like people's origin stories, how they got into trading. How did this all get started, dude? What happened?
Mine's pretty fun, actually. So I was spending a day on YouTube looking up largest gambling losses, as you do. Watching people lose money is funny. And I knew what the stock market was. Like, I knew day trading existed, but I had never looked into it, done any of that. And I just looked up largest day trading loss. That was just the next step in my search for entertainment, I guess, that evening. And I came across a video. I won't name drop who it was, but I came across a video. Someone lost over $20,000, whatever. But that was the first time I really saw what a real, bar chart looked like. And I've always been fascinated with pattern recognition, and I've always been fascinated with the idea of the better you are at something, the more money you make with it, like not just being paid a salary for being at the office from 9 to 5, right? And obviously trading was right up the alley for both of those things. So pretty much right after I watched that video, I went into hella deep dive mode. I mean, you can ask my wife. Every day I'd come home from work, and for like 3-4 hours, I'd just be watching videos or studying, reading. It all kind of took off from there. And I became obsessed with this pretty much ever since. That was 8 years ago, the summer of 2015.
Summer of 2015. That's fucking crazy, because that's actually the exact same time that I got into this as well.
People ask me what my first day was. I don't remember exactly. Like, it was July 11th. I don't know. I just know it was the summer after I graduated from school. So.
Yeah. Wait. You graduated what? You're getting your master's or something?
No, that's when I got my bachelor's, 2015.
Oh, how old are you, Trey? Are you my age?
I'm 30.
Oh, okay. We're about the same age. So then why did you finish school late? Did you go back to school like later in life, or?
No. I graduated high school in 2011. Did my 4 years through 2015.
Hold on. How long did it take you to finish your post-secondary then? Like 8 years?
4 years.
4 years.
2011 when I graduated high school.
Oh.
To 2015 I graduated college.
Oh. Okay. Anyways, dude, so what, you were looking at gambling losses for like casinos, and then you found someone was doing like a day trading loss? What kind of trading did you go in? Like from there, like, was it penny stock trading you were looking at, or option trading?
So I traded my first really year, maybe a little less, 6 months, whatever it was. I was really just a swing trader. I just focused on, a couple of days holding, maybe even a couple of weeks holding. My actual first trade ever, I don't know if you do have your chart up. I'm not looking right at your screen, but my first trade ever was CRBP, Charlie Romeo Bravo Papa. And it was just one of those shitty, it was a biotech in, I think it was early 2016. It was a biotech that had, upcoming PDUFA news. It was all hyped up on StockTwits. Yes, I was the guy, looking at StockTwits and confirming my beliefs on StockTwits. Everybody was saying, of course, as they do, everyone's bullish on StockTwits. Everyone was saying the stock's gonna, their drug's definitely gonna pass phase. So I held it. I went from being up $1,000 on it to down $500 on it, and then I just got, lucky as shit that it's actually did pass its phase. So I did end up making like $1,200 in that trade. And I often think about that. I often think, like, what if I had lost money on that first trade? Like, I think those of us that really get into trading a lot of times are those of us that caught a little bit of early luck, or whatever you want to call it. You get addicted to that win. I think a lot of people try trading. Maybe they lose for their first month or two, and they're like, all right, screw this,
Yeah. But you got lucky in your first one. I don't think I got lucky at all. in the beginning. I think I was just losing money from the start. However, I definitely relate to what you were saying, where you were saying that you were like getting home after work and just grinding like hours of looking at charts and like learning about it. There's some, I remember like for me, I almost felt like I was already rich because I thought to myself like I'm gonna figure this out no matter what, right?
Yeah.
And so you kind of like you just feel like you had already made it before you even made it, and that drove me to like look at it 4, 6, 8 hours a day every day. But so you got into just like swinging individual equities, and that's kind of what you're doing now, though, right? Like you never strayed away from where you started then, if that's the case, or did you?
Sort of. I mean, I do a lot more day trading now. You know, I'm more. It's actually pretty rare now, at least in my trading account, that I'm holding stocks overnight. Right. I still have most of my money, and I tell this to my community all the time. Like, as you were just mentioning, we're all gonna make it in trading, right? We're all gonna buy a Lamborghini with our trading. Of course we are, but investing your money is still very important, right?
Yeah.
Most of my money is actually just invested in the S&P. But other than that, yeah, when I'm trading now, it's almost purely day trading. So I'm out. I'm flat going into overnight sessions.
Oh, in your day trading stuff. Yeah, CSV's Frog. Yes, this will be available for replay. By the way, someone in chat says I found Trey on OnlyFans. I'm gonna assume that is satire. Okay, so you said most
If
of your
only.
stuff is in the S&P. So are you doing SPY or VU or?
Yeah, so I'm in VOO in one of my retirement accounts, and then my other retirement account is all mutual funds. It's my 401k. It's all my job only offers mutual funds through our 401k for whatever reason. But
Okay, but you get like compensated for going through them, right? Like it makes sense to go through them, I'm assuming.
yeah, I get matched every month. It's free
Okay,
money.
cool. All right, so how did you get into this whole like algo building stuff? Or not, I don't want to say if it's like algo, but I went into your stream one time and you were talking about how you use like think scripts, and yet your trading is very systematic. I think that's the word you were using. You're using like the systematic word. But can you
Yeah, I
go?
call myself I
Yeah,
call
go ahead.
myself a system trader, not an algo trader. Algorithmic trading is it uses code, but it's very much I'm going to build 15 to 20 different systems that are searching for anomalies in the market that may rarely come around, but when they do, my algorithm is going to automatically go trade that and that kind of stuff. I use code, but I just use it to back test my strategies, right? To ensure, so my code will tell me where what I tell it to obviously will get in and out, and then I can pull reports from that. It's just how I prove that an idea works before I go trade it, right? I say there's a really big difference between noticing patterns in the market and then proving patterns in the market, right? You need to, in my eyes, as a system trader, at least you kind of have to take that step, right? And that's what I look to do with my code.
But I've seen that you still have like your buy and sell sort of like triggers from the code. So in the morning when you're taking trades, you're still going off that though, right? Like it's still being used for your trading. Not
Yeah,
just for
yeah.
back
So I
testing, right?
follow I follow my systems to a T. So I get in and out exactly where I'm supposed to. I just still have to hit the buttons. It's not automatically trading for me. I still have to make the decisions, but yeah, I trade according to my system, objectively defined to a T.
And so if you're trading it to a T, why don't you just let the computer do it for you then? When do
Oh,
you
I'd
ever
love to.
deviate? When do you deviate?
I don't deviate, but I would love to automate my trading. I'm just not smart enough.
Oh, you can't
That's
code
a
it in.
different level of coding.
Oh, okay. You don't know how to get the API from like wait, but can't you
Yeah.
can't do it directly on Thinkorswim? Like your broker is Thinkorswim though, right?
Yeah, you can, but it's not through ThinkScript, right? You have to, like you said, you have to be able to pull uh, APIs and then into the API, reinsert it, and then have it trade that way. I just
Oh,
don't know how to do that.
okay. I got you. Well, you maybe like hire some like Indian dude on Fiverr to like put like 100 hours of work for like $20 in and get that going for you. Just a suggestion.
That's fair. I could, yeah.
And so yeah, I don't know if you really share this on stream. I know that you share your thing scripts. I've seen through your Discord, but what's kind of like the premise of your strategies on the think scripts? Like what is the data? Obviously obviously there's only really 5 points of data that you can get: an open, a close, a high, a low, and volume. But you know, what are the indicators, or you know, what are you doing that's making these things happen here?
So I consider myself a continuation trader. So stocks that are in trend, I want to trade in the direction of that trend. So I am looking, quite honestly, I buy high, sell higher, right? I'm not really much of a buy low guy, at least when it comes to my trading, right? Investing, different conversation. But when it comes to trading, I'm looking to find strong trends and I'm looking to capture my slice of the pie of that trend, right? And I do use, so RSI, I will talk about it a little bit because I've given away this part of my code, but so I do use RSI as a great way to figure out at least momentary trends, but I don't use RSI like most people. Most people are, you know, you buy when the RSI is oversold and then you sell when it's overbought. I'm essentially doing the exact opposite of that. And I find that, you know, and this is where it all starts to come together, right? This is in my strategies. I find that actually works at a higher clip than trying to buy, you know, the oversold RSI. So I'm taking advantage of strength and looking to capture the momentary strength that is there. And I tend to, on a lot of my strategies, and it's kind of why today was so crazy when I was telling you how my day trading went today. I actually don't even set profit targets. I just let the strength be strong. Like I sell, like I said, at a specific RSI level. I'm not going to say exactly what, but I sell when the RSI starts to show weakness. So I give these stocks that I'm buying a chance to, you know, sometimes, you know, and I've seen it in my strategies, you know, it gets into some of these huge winners. I mean, the days where you have, I'm just going to use AMC. That's the popular one. When it goes up 80, 90, 100% in a day, you know, you can make a shitload of money, right? And those really help, obviously, to offset all the losers that do come with the strategy. Because, of course, there's going to be losers. But if you get into these high momentum, strong stocks, and then you let them play for as long as they can play, of course, you still have to decide an area where you're going to get out of it. But, you know, you can really, I call my strategies Aaron Judge. They've got maybe a low hit rate, but when they hit, they really win. And, you know, still considered one of the best, maybe the best hitter in the league. So
Yeah, dude, that actually makes a lot of sense to me because I would say that my style of trading is similar to what you're saying, like buy high, sell high, or sell low, sell lower. Like I follow momentum using like moving averages, but you know, obviously my discretion. But just the whole premise of like buying high and selling higher, even in long-term investing, makes a lot of sense to me because you know you have companies like the biggest winners in this market right now are stocks that people have been terrified to buy for the past 7 years because they thought that they're overvalued. You know, like no one wanted to buy Nvidia for the past 5 years, or Amazon or Google or Facebook. I remember like back when we started trading, Trey, in 2015, Fang started taking off, and people thought Fang was overvalued back then.
yeah.
You know, I remember people. I mean, I'm sure you know people have been trying to short Fang for the past 8 years, and Fang has somehow push tires. So just like that, the whole ideology makes a lot of sense to me. As for the RSI too, like that's interesting because I've never used RSI, but I've seen people get fucked trying to use it. And if you're buying when, like, I'm assuming like RSI somewhere in the 70s or 80s or something along there, if you're buying when the RSI is at these levels, you're definitely doing the opposite of what other people are doing. How do you filter the? Yeah.
If you think about it, so I don't want to cut you off, but if you think about it, why, like, it makes sense, and people get themselves in a lot of trouble with post analysis, right? They'll look at, I pulled up Nvidia's chart when it drew down to 113 and the RSI is at freaking, you know, 28. They'll look at that and they'll go, well, that's a buy, you know, but it was also in the 20s when it was trading at 180, you know. It was also, it went 60 points lower that entire time it was undersold. Like, why would you want to be buying a stock, even if you think of RSI in the words as oversold and overbought? Well, if everybody's selling, it's probably not the best time for you to try to be buying, at least if you're trying to make money in the short term, right?
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and RSI isn't a perfect indicator in that sense, like you just said. It could be oversold and it'll just go more oversold. How do you figure out which stocks you want to trade then? Is that something that you do with your own discretion, or do you have any sort of systematic process to do that? Because I know that you added like a new stock to like your little bunch. First of all, how many stocks are like in your basket right now? Like how many stocks do you want to trade?
Well, I actually just like recently in the last week, I think today was my 4th day of trading it, started trading this strategy where I'm trading a bunch of different stocks. For the last 3 or 4 months, I have only been trading Tesla. I made a strategy around Tesla, and that's what I traded. I proved it worked. And largely just because that was easy to do, right? Tesla is really volatile, and I can write code against just that chart. And then, of course, you have to back test it against other time frames and things as well. But and then I found it worked, and then I started trading it. What I just did recently was, as you mentioned, you asked how do you decide what stocks you're going to trade. I made a scanner in Thinkorswim to find the sort of stocks I want to be buying. And then I implemented that into my strategy, into my code, right? So that my code will only take trades if it also matches the parameters of the scanner, if that makes sense. And that's something I'm really, I found that it's been working really well for me, although today wasn't great. We're still doing quite well the last 4 days trading this new strategy. And it's something I'm definitely going to take advantage of more moving forward is building the scanner first, deciding, hey, if I look at these parameters, these stocks tend to have a continuation over X number of time frame that you want to trade, and then building a system based off of that scanner. So currently I am looking at and I'm not going to get too exact here, but I'm looking at the just strongest movers in the market. If you go to the daily chart, some of the stocks on my scanner right now, if I filter mine, are QBTS is on my scanner, UCAR is on my scanner, MVIS is on my scanner. If you look at those on the current daily, they're all, big multi-day, been moving for multiple days in a row. These are the kind of stocks I'm looking to buy in the morning and then see if they can run all day, right? Largely, that's what I do. Hey, this stock is strong as shit. I'm going to buy it, see if it continues. If it doesn't, I'm going to stop out small. If it does, I'm going to win big,
Yeah.
And it's a lot more granular than that, but at a high level, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, I got you. I remember I was watching your stream one time. You mentioned your like position size was like around $20,000 on shares.
Yeah, so
like that's
when
what
I
you're buying for
trade
Tesla, right?
when I trade Tesla, I take $30,000 positions. Plus, and this is important. I think it's very hard, if not next to impossible, to outperform the S&P day trading if you're not compounding your gains, right? The really only advantage that day trading has over just long-term investing is that you get to compound every day. So if you make $100 on Tesla, the next day you add $100 to your buying power. And obviously vice versa. If you lose, you can subtract it as well to risk yourself. But so I think that's very important for trading. So right now I'm actually up to $34,000 positions in Tesla because it's been doing okay. And then on my new strategy that I trade more individual stocks on, I'm taking $5,000 positions each on up to 5 stocks. So today I was in 5 stocks and Tesla. I was in $55,000 worth of positions at one point today.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. I was gonna ask you if you were gonna take away from your Tesla size with these new equities that you're buying, but that's not the case. You're holding your Tesla size.
Yep. That's why we're starting to get. That's why I was down $1,200 this morning. We're just gonna get larger days now. I'm trading more and more size. You're just gonna get larger and larger days. Obviously, both down and up.
Yeah. $12,000 is like a big drawdown for you. I'm assuming then I wouldn't know.
1,200. Yeah. Did I say 12? I hope I'm not down 12,000.
No.
Yeah.
You said. Oh, did I say 12,000? My bad. My bad.
Yeah, 1,200 would have been the largest red day that I've had since I became a system trader about a year and a half ago. We ended up pulling it back. I lost, like I said, a little under $800 today. So still obviously not a good day, but it's not bad at all. Just giving up the profits from a couple of days, really. So.
How did you become a system trader? Like, what even got you into doing that? Because there's so many paths people can take, and for you to take this path of like making think scripts, like you said, you're not smart enough to get the things to buy for you, But you're smart enough to get your hands dirty with some think scripts. So like, how did that even happen?
Yeah, I think it's as simple as I've been trading for 8 years. I lost money for 2 years. And then essentially for 4 years after that, I was a break-even trader, maybe slightly better than break-even. I'd make a couple of grand a year, which is whatever. But it essentially began to turn into a conversation of the definition of an insanity is continuing to do the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, right? It's like, listen, discretionary trading is not making me money. Let me try something different. And I actually watched I started to watch a lot of Mark Douglas as well. I'm sure you've heard of him. He wrote Trading in the Zone. It might be the most famous day trading book out there. But he talks a lot about system trading, and that's sort of what began to drive my discovery of that. But yeah, I mean, essentially it was, look, I've given this enough time and it's not really working. I'm doing okay for myself, but it's not really working like I want it to. So let's do something else, you know?
Yeah. I've seen a couple of videos on YouTube of Mark Douglas where he had like, by the way, rest in peace to Mark Douglas. RIP to the GOAT. RIP to the GOAT at Treyding Psychology. His wife, yeah, let's drink to that for sure. His wife, I don't know if you knew this, but his wife is like super, I don't really know how to say it. Like, she's trying to protect the bag. Like, if you share a Mark Douglas book in your Discord, which I'm sure everybody and their fucking grandmother does, and Mark Douglas's wife finds out, she will come after you and she will sue you, because she knows that all these traders online like share his work for free, and obviously, you know, that's money that could be going into her pocket.
I need to delete a link from my Discord.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I've got the book shared in my Discord, a PDF.
No, you don't. Why are you lying to me? No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You will not.
I actually don't. Funnily enough, I actually don't,
because
it doesn't work. It doesn't
really?
work anymore.
It doesn't work? Oh, okay.
It's already got shut down.
Wink, wink. He caught on. Doesn't work, chat. But yeah, I saw a couple of webinars. I don't know if you've seen them. They're like some old recordings of Mark Douglas like chatting to like a group of like wannabe traders, like, or, you know, aspiring traders.
He's got like a 4.5, 5-hour webinar on YouTube. It's probably the one you're talking about.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That one's really good. That one's really good. So it was Mark Douglas that got you into that. Yo, can we stop fucking insulting how pale he is right now, chat?
Hey, fuck you, Regenerator.
I'm trying to have a conversation with him, and you guys are fucking calling him pale. So what if he's pale?
We got good running jokes.
You're a fucking Tottenham fan, so you're asking to be pale by having a flag of Tottenham on your wall.
I'm asking to be in immortal pain forever.
That too. Are you English? You got an English jersey on. Is that like your ethnicity?
No, I'm not. I have this because I cheer for England in the Euros, and that year that America didn't make the World Cup, I cheered for England. I think that's why I bought this.
Oh, okay. But you're white American. You're as white American as they come.
Yep. I am. Well, I am. I mean, if you ask me, you know, my roots are in England and Ireland. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, basically white as shit.
Yeah. What were we talking about? We're talking about Mark Douglas. Yeah. Okay. And then you were like, fuck it, I'm gonna become a systematic trader. You were breaking for 4 years. Bro, this is fucking impressive, dude. I've been fucking in this game for 8 years. I can't make a fucking dime. You talking about the definition of insanity? Like, this shit is a tough fucking business. I think
it's very normal to go through that life cycle of losing money for a while and then break even for a long time. And then because I have the philosophy that if you're following rules, if you have objective rules and you follow them, even if they suck, you're going to be break even. I think the randomness of the market will make you about break even, right? So I think that's when a trader goes through that break even phase, is when they learn, you know, they begin trading, they either don't have rules or they just break their rules all the time. And that's when they lose money. And then they go, well, you know, let's set some rules, and they start following them. And that's when they go break even. And then you actually learn how to build things that actually work, you know, looking for anomalies, looking for patterns that work. And that's when you maybe start to make a little bit of money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm experiencing that right now because honestly, I'm pretty break even right now, and it's because I'm following rules. But it's just so fucking inherently hard for me to do. Like, some people are just better at following rules than others, man. You know, like, I'm a fucking degen. I'm a fucking degen through and through. There's nothing I can fucking do about it, and it just pains me. It fucking pains me sometimes to eat a loss. I hate it. I hate eating a loss. It like eats my soul, or you know. But anyways,
So what you do, let me
Yeah.
pause you for a second. What
Yeah.
you do is in your journal, when you lose, say you were supposed to lose $50 in a trade, but you held it and you ended up losing $100 instead. In your mind and in your account, that's really not that big of a deal. You know, well, I lost an extra $50. I didn't exit when I was supposed to. I waited for the next candle, then I got out. But in a trading journal, write the percentage of slippage. Right, you lost an extra 100% more than you were supposed to on that trade. You start to look at that in a journal, and you start to go, holy shit! I
Yeah.
lost 100% more, 200% more than I was supposed to. Like,
Yeah. And that adds up, obviously, over time. That's another thing I have a problem with, though. Like, do you journal?
yeah, I use TraderView to journal. It does it kind of for you.
What do you mean? How? What do you mean?
It costs $30 a month, and you import your trades into it, and then it gives you a P&L graph of how you're doing. It gives you all your statistics: win percentage, average win, average loss, risk reward ratio, all kinds of stats that you didn't even know existed. Your performance by day, performance by month, performance by time of day, intraday, hold length. It gives you all kinds of cool stats.
Right. But you
All you have to do is import your trades every day. It takes like 2 seconds.
wait. You say trading view?
TraderView,
Trader
TRAD.
view.
So TraderVue is what I use.
Trader VUE. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen a couple of those those services that do some analysis. But what I meant was like, do you journal like Okay, dude, this triggers me so much because I've tried to do it. People think that like it helps, but like people tell me that I need to journal like a fucking like a prepubescent like teenage girl in fucking elementary school, where it's like today I was in a trade and I felt really nervous and the market was doing this, and then like, do you do that shit? Because I tried to do that shit. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. No,
I don't.
Okay.
I don't do that shit. No.
Okay. But you know that people on Twitch chat will tell you to do that shit, right? Like, I'm sure you've heard it before, or maybe they tell you that they do it. I don't know. They tell me that they do it.
Maybe it helps. Maybe it helps people. I don't know. I don't feel like I have emotions like that. I don't know. Like, I'm angry and it made me take a trade. Like, I don't know.
Yo, fair enough. I mean, fuck. If you can do your systematic thing, you got to be cold in some way. I definitely fight those fucking emotions every day of my life. What about some like people that you learn from? Like, obviously you had to start somewhere. I know that you mentioned like fucking Patrick Wieland. That guy's an absolute crazy clown. What do you know about Patrick Wieland, bro? What have you seen about Patrick Wieland?
Patrick Wieland is probably the person I watched the most when we were doing that. When I was watching YouTube for 4 hours a day after work. I think I've seen every Patrick Wieland video before. I probably stopped watching them in 2019, 2018. I think before that, I've seen every Patrick Wieland video that's out there.
Dude, you were losing brain cells. Like, did you know? Were you aware?
It came out that he was paper trading.
Yeah. When did it click that you were losing brain cells? Like, when did you realize what was happening?
Oh, so I stopped watching Patrick. It was actually like I watched him a little bit through like when he got caught paper trading and shit. I didn't really care. I was like, look, I'm not copying him anyway. He's still talking about the market. It's still interesting. But then he just started like shilling out his girlfriend or maybe wife. I don't know. I don't know if you caught this era, but it was like every like video was like his girl in a bikini on a boat. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yes, I did catch that era. Yeah, I did.
That's when I stopped watching.
I don't even know if that was his girlfriend, but yeah, like he had like a little. He became like a fisherman at one point. That was he
had like a boat company or some shit.
Yeah. Okay, so that's when you were like, all right, I've had enough.
Go follow Atlas Trading for the best early tips.
Thank you for the 100 bits, Vega. I appreciate you, man.
Atlas, bro. Don't get me started on Atlas. I know why Vega's talking about Atlas.
Let's hear it, dude. Let's hear it.
Dude, I would tell you what.
Before we get into it, I just want to say, total random flex. I had fucking dinner with Zach Morris at like one of the finest Mexican restaurants. That he
no shit. Was he a douchebag?
Dude, bro. Honestly, you could tell that he was like you could tell that he was depressed. You could tell that he was depressed, and you could tell that he knew that like he was doing some illegal shit. This was before he got caught.
Was it near about the time? Not long before.
This was March 2020. This was March 2022. And I think he got caught maybe like 8 months or 6 months later. I don't know if you know, but I made this video that he had pinned on his profile for like a super long time. And it was like a tongue-in-cheek kind of video about him being a pumper. And so
that's probably where I know your name from, because I knew your name like before you came to Twitch, or before I saw you on Twitch. I like knew who you were, and I didn't really know why, but it was probably from that.
it probably was from that, yeah. So I made like a little tongue-in-cheek video about him being like a pump and dumper, and I kind of just like danced on the line of like calling him a scammer and just kind of like showing how degenerate his community is. And so he being a very smart businessman, instead of trying to attack me, he just retweeted it, and the video got like 3 million views. But anyways, I was in Mexico, and I saw that he was like living in Mexico. I don't know if he was trying to evade the cops or something, but this guy was like living in Mexico for a while. So when I got to Mexico, I was like, yo, dude, I'm like near you. He's like, yo, come to this restaurant. I was like, look, dude, I'm on vacation. I don't really have like money to spend. I already spent a lot of my money coming here. He's like, don't worry, it's on me. And so I go to this restaurant. Oh, he has money. He got the black. He has the Black American Express card. He probably paid for like $2,000 worth of like expensive alcohol and my steak. He was a nice guy, but you could tell that he was like hurting on the inside. Honestly, there was some, and I talked about this on my stream when I came back. But what do you know about Atlas, dude? Give me your Atlas experience.
I don't know a lot about them. I was never in it or anything. I just know that I've been streaming since October 2020, and I think the entire time I've been telling everyone in my community that they're scammers, like the entire time. And I got a good bit of hate for it. So after they got arrested, well, they're not arrested. They're charged. I don't even know if they've been found guilty yet. I don't think so. But after they got charged, I made a couple of YouTube videos about it. And it just kind of even became more of a running joke in my community, that we were, when they were pumping, I just remember CEI, bro. Charlie, Echo, India. I was telling everybody I could that this was bullshit. They were talking about how it's going to go to 10 or whatever the price was. And it got destroyed. And that's now one of the stocks that's on the DOJ's file for them being pumping. So yeah, I was just, I was calling them out. I was calling them out for a long time. I think anybody that's been trading for even more than like 2 or 3 months knows all that shit's a scam. The thing is 90% of traders fail. That's the statistic someone pulled out of their ass that you hear all the time. So the vast majority of people that are intaking stock market content are beginners that don't know any better, right? That's why these people like blow up so much. A beginner trader just sees someone with 600,000 followers on Twitter posting about trades, and they think they know what they're talking about. Right?
Yeah. No, for sure. And not only that, the Atlas situation is more interesting because you had like their podcast, the Pennies Going in Raw, which was ran by like 2 even bigger clowns that like, how could you believe these kids are making money? If Hugh and that Dan kid. And that podcast gets a sponsorship with iHeartRadio. So, imagine you're a new trader and you see Zach Morse, he has 600,000 followers. You see that his 2 buddies that have a podcast are sponsored by iHeartRadio. You think to yourself, like, these people must do the due diligence, And you see these things everywhere. Like there was another guy, Cam the Man. I don't know if you know who Cam the Man is, but he's just another fucking, grifter. And, he has a thing on Business Insider. It's like, oh, this trader turned, $1,000 into 10 million. Like, really? Did he?
Someone the other day tried to like hate on me. He was in my Discord. He said, I'm paraphrasing, but he said something along the lines of, if Trey's strategy really worked, he'd be a multimillionaire by now. Like, I've been trading my strategy on Tesla for 3 months with $25,000. Like, and people like really think that's what trading is. Like, you should be able to turn 25,000 into multiple millions in a couple months. Like, it's not what this game is. Like,
no, not at all. Here's the thing, dude. I'm very cynical about like trading in general. And I that's how I am. That's why I'm a terrible trader. But I just recently found out about this guy, some Japanese trader, who turned like the equivalent of like $4,000 into like 100 million over the course of like 8 years. Now, this is like legit though. This is like apparently like verified. And there's stories of Koala Mag. You know who Koala Maggie is? Koala Maggie's like streams on here. Do you think Koala Maggie's legit?
I saw him get called out by the Faru guy on Twitter the other day ago, or it was probably a couple weeks ago at this point. But it was a stupid call out. It was because at the top of his T2000 platform it said paper trading,
Yeah.
but T2000 is just a charting platform. Like nobody really uses it to actually trade. So that was BS. But I saw, so I don't really know a lot about Qual, but I saw a lot of people responding to that tweet. Why I bring it up with like his, I think he's Swedish, with his like Swedish or wherever he's from tax returns.
Yeah.
So apparently he has like actually shared like his actual numbers and stuff. Like I
Yeah.
said, I don't really know anything about him, but you know that seems good.
Yeah. No, I'm in the exact same boat as you. Like everything you just said was my exact experience on looking up Koala Maggie. So I think like it seems pretty legit. But whatever, where I was going with that is like there does look like there's like very obscure cases of people that have been able to turn, you know, $10,000 into multiple millions, but it's so rare. And so for Twitch chat to come into your chat and say, "Oh, if Trey's things worked, he would," it's like, dude, like that would make him a fucking like one in a 10 million anomaly, you know?
Yeah, and it's very often, and it's definitely not impossible. Someone comes across some kind of statistical anomaly that happens enough that they can do that. It's definitely far from impossible, but it's very often when people do that, it's an anomaly that is a flash in the market, right? They find something that is holy shit. You know, this has a 4-to-1 win rate or a 4-to-1 risk reward at a 75% win rate, and it works for maybe like 6 months, maybe a year if you're lucky, and then it gets caught on. Funds begin to notice that anomaly, and it lowers and lowers until it disappears. It is what happens very often with people that are lucky enough to come across things like that.
Yeah, and crack the market. Yeah, the market will become efficient fucking quickly. You mentioned earlier about how Twitch chat, SHG915, how's it going, man? Good to see you in chat. You mentioned earlier that your Twitch chat was upset with you because you were, or some people were upset because you were calling Alice a scam. And it reminded me a lot of the days when GME was like $400 and people came into my chat asking me if I was long GME, and I'd be like, no. And they would get mad at me as if I like was doing a disservice to society. And I mean, how long have you been streaming, Trey?
About 2.5 years, October 2020.
Okay. Do you remember people, have you ever had people come into your chat screaming at you for not buying Palantir? Because that was one stock that I felt like had a crazy call. People would come into my chat and they'd be mad at me for not being in Palantir. And I remember this was when Palantir had just become a SPAC or IPO or whatever. It was like 30, $40, and they thought it was going to 100. And anyone not in it was just a fucking retard.
Dude, it was that whole SPAC era, man.
Yeah.
You bought a SPAC, that bitch is going up 10% every day. That happened for like 4 months. Like the SPACs were insane. Just, hey, this thing is going public through a SPAC. Go buy it for a week and you'll make 30%. There you go.
Yeah. You like DraftKings, right? Was DraftKings a SPAC?
Yep, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I like
Like
DraftKings a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, give me your bull case on DraftKings. Like, why should I be in?
Because they're everywhere. Can you watch a sport? Can you even watch a YouTube channel about freaking sports or an Instagram reel about sports and not hear DraftKings somewhere? DraftKings, and listen, DraftKings is high risk, high reward. I also think it's very plausible that DraftKings goes to zero, right? I'm sized appropriately that if it goes to zero, it's not going to hurt me. But I think they're in their customer acquisition period. I think they are in, if you look at Amazon in 2000 or 1999, now DraftKings isn't going to be Amazon. That's not what I'm saying. But, when Amazon announced that they were going to sell more than books, they went to the moon on hype. And then for years, they dropped off the table and they were a penny stock. Well, this is after splits and stuff, so whatever. But they went down, and for years they were just kind of chilling. And then obviously they became what they became. And all these sort of customers in these sort of realms with sports betting becoming legal have to spend a bunch of money. And that's why DraftKings got crushed, because they're burning money. They're absolutely burning money right now. There's no doubting that. But they're burning money to acquire customers. Like I enjoy buying stocks that are dipping because they're burning money for the right reasons, right?
Yeah, sure.
And I think it'll just, I think I think DraftKings has bags of potential, like I said, or it just doesn't, then it goes to zero, and I think that's also very plausible. But I like having a little bit of high risk, high reward in my portfolio, and DraftKings is that for me right now.
I saw that draft. Like, I fucking love the UFC. Like any other fucking, fucking bro out there, UFC's great, and I see that they have like the partnership with DraftKings. And it's things like that make me think like, okay, something special could be going on here. But then I also see
DraftKings is even making they're making their own restaurants now, and like
really?
they're bringing like the idea is that they contract. I thought the idea was that they contract with like Buffalo Wild Wings to allow like at every table, or at least in the bar section, there's a DraftKings podium you can gamble on. But they started opening their own restaurants around. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of them, but yeah, they're opening like their own like sports gambling restaurants. Yeah,
That's pretty cool. I mean, that is high risk, high reward though. Like if that restaurant business blows up, you're gonna feel it in the stock. But that is pretty cool. But
to compare it to another stock too, to compare it to another stock too, I compare it to Starbucks. Starbucks, like when I was in high school, I graduated high school in 2011, so probably 2009, 2010, Starbucks was everywhere. Every white girl had a Starbucks in their hands at all times. They were on every corner, and their stock just went from $4 to $17. And it was probably not a lot of people buying Starbucks stock at $17 because they're already everywhere. You already see them everywhere. Their stock's already up 600% from lows. Like, surely this is the top, whatever. And then they just, from then they've just continued. They were up to over $120.
Yeah,
it's just one of those kind of that era too of you start to see something everywhere. It's not a bad idea to get a little bit of money into it, I think.
yeah. Apart from fucking Patrick Wieland. Who else did you watch on YouTube? And who do you watch these days? Like, obviously you run your own channel, and I'm sure that you probably don't like watch. I don't watch people, but you gotta have some people you still follow, at least on FinTwit or something. Like, who are the people you look at or listen to or anything?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I don't really follow a lot of people. I don't really watch really any YouTube content anymore. I think it's sort of just drowned out from the stuff I make myself. And it's like anything in education, you begin to kind of dig into your own very specific hole. There's obviously a huge, close to infinite number of ways you can trade this market, and you sort of start to dive down your own little hole the longer you've been doing this. And there's not necessarily anybody that feels like that really speaks to me, it's like trades exactly like I trade that I want to continue listening to. But I follow people, I follow people around on Twitter and stuff. I'm not going to lie. I'm scrolling through my Twitter now, and it's basically all memes. But there's some people in here I listen to. A lot of actual. I'm very interested right now in watching people short low float stocks. I think it's interesting. I don't think it's anything I'll ever actually get into, but I like watching people do it on Twitter. But yeah, I used to watch. So have you heard of SMB Capital?
Yeah.
They're a trading firm that posts on YouTube. I like what they post a lot. I used to watch the Chart Guys a lot. I used to watch Boiler Room Trading a lot. I used to watch Ross a lot, Warrior Trading. I don't agree with the way he trades. I think the way he trades is very dependent on his audience, but I think he still has a lot of good content out there.
Bro, have you seen the video where Ross says that he had a dream of like this? You know,
dude, it's my favorite fucking clip on the internet.
What is that clip? What is that clip?
Hits the biker with the hoagie sandwich to save the girl. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Chat, listen, for anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, Ross,
do you have it? Dude, I haven't been able to find it in so long. Do you have it?
I'll fucking find it. It.
Please send it to me on Discord.
I'll find it right now, dude. I'll find it right now. Okay. Yeah, for you guys that don't know what we're talking about, pretty much like Ross from Warrior Trading. He's like this ginger guy on YouTube that does penny stock trading. He's like, I would say he's like a legend because he's been around for so long. But he has this one clip of him on a live stream where I don't know if he's like trying to seem like a good guy or something. It's one of the most cringiest like things I've ever seen. But he's telling his chat that he had a dream where this lady is getting robbed or something? What's going on? I forget. What's happening? Do you remember?
Yeah, he's inside the gas station buying a sandwich, and this biker guy is cussing up and roughing up his girlfriend outside or whatever, some girl. And then he walks out and hits him in the head with a sandwich and saves the girl. Yeah.
Yeah, like he hits her with a sandwich. But the thing is, like, he's saying this with a straight face, and he's saying it like he's trying to sound like a good guy. Like he's pretty much telling him like, "Hey guys, subconsciously I'm great." Anyways, dude, I'll find that video. I'll post it to you in Discord. But okay,
Yeah,
so you
it's a
used to
great
watch
clip.
Ross and chart guys and stuff. Trey, what are your thoughts on like the macro, man? Like, do you care about the macro? Obviously, you gotta follow the Fed and like rates and stuff. Like, what are your thoughts on all that, man?
I've actually just started diving into that a little bit more. I don't really care that much. I never really have. I've always just sort of focused on the charts, and especially with my systems, because in my systems, they don't, encapsulate any of that stuff. They don't care about the macros. Therefore, I don't care. Like whenever my trade is in, whenever my system's in a trade, oh my God, Trey, there's FOMC this afternoon. I don't care. Every instance that I've backtested my code over the last 5 years, it has held through FOMC meetings. So I'm going to continue to hold my trade through the FOMC meeting. You know what I mean? But I have recently began following a little bit more. I pay a lot of attention to the dollar index, and I have been ever since the bear market started. I got bullish on SPY in November because in November, that's when the dollar index kind of had its big crack down. That's when I got bullish on the markets. I also relatively recently found this website that shows you I don't know if you know this, but the Fed fund has futures. You can trade futures on the Fed fund rate. And there's a website that shows you what the futures are currently pricing in. So currently on the June 14th meeting, they are pricing in a 76% chance of a rate hike halt. Oh, wow, I can't talk. A rate hike halt on that during that meeting. And they also have further out probabilities, like by the end or by the beginning of next year, the futures are expecting the Fed to begin cutting rates, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I've started to really pay a little bit more attention to that stuff, and it's relatively more so for a conversation piece because for the most part, I don't care. In my investments, I'm going to buy. I get paid once a month, and every month a little bit of my paycheck is going to go into VOO. I don't really care what the market's doing that much. I'm not out here trying to time my investments. I get paid, I put some of it into VOO, and I forget I own it, right? And like I explained with my trading, and maybe one day I will include macro into my code and care about that stuff, but currently I don't. So it's a little bit more just for conversation piece on stream to maybe help people get an idea of what the market's going to be doing.
Yeah. What's your process for looking at news every day, man? Like, do you just go to Fintuit or you go to like CNBC.com or what's your go-to, man?
So I've got a website. I'll throw it in your chat for anybody that wants it and for you too, obviously. But it shows all the news for the day and it highlights sort of anything that might be overly market impactful in red. So I take a peek at this every morning and it live updates. So we got ISM services confidence was today at 10 o'clock. So today at 10 o'clock on stream, we pulled that up, looked at what the numbers was, and looked how the market reacted, So that's how I know what macro is coming up for the day, for the week, and sort of judge off that. But for like stock specific news, I'm looking at a scanner. I'm actually here. I'll put this link in chat too. Shout out. I don't know this guy, but or gal, but I watch this person's stream. They stream their trade idea scanner on YouTube every morning, and that's what I'm watching. And so anything that begins moving pops up on that scanner, and we pull it up, and then I'll just look at the news in Thinkorswim.
Wait, I have this. This is super interesting. I have this opened up. Where in the scanner, like low float?
Yeah, so if you look in the bottom right,
Oh, CJET. Okay.
That's sort of their like Momo stuff. So anything that moves over 4% in 2 minutes pops up in that bottom right.
Gotcha.
And then obviously the top left is the top gappers. So on my stream every morning, I pull up the 6 biggest top gappers, and we watch those. And then I watch the bottom right for anything that begins moving after that.
Got you. That's interesting. Yo, you were trading AI. I just saw that in the video you sent me. You were trading AI. What happened with your AI trade? You make money on that? That
Dude,
thing's fucking.
dude, I'm so fucking mad at myself.
What happened?
I essentially made this new strategy that I'm trading because of AI, like because of the AI bubble. I was like, bro, look, I see this AI bubble. I don't want to miss it. Let me try to make a way to trade this hype. And I've done very well. I'm actually up over $1,100 just on AI. I did very well on it on the 30th of the month when it went from 37 to 44. I pretty much held it all day that day. It was really nice. But I didn't trade it today. It was just kind of low down on my scanner today, so I sort of ignored it. And my strategy made over $650 on it today, and I didn't take the trade. So, I essentially made my strategy for this stock, and then my strategy crushed it, and I didn't take the trade. So, maybe a little bit of an idiot, but I've also I maybe a little bit of copium to make myself feel better. I've been trading this strategy for 4 days. There's always this process of like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. And then you actually start trading it, and like you learn kind of the intricacies of what actually needs to happen, and you improve at your strategy the longer you trade it and stuff, So, but yeah, my strategy crushed it today.
You didn't take it. Fuck, man. You are an idiot. The fuck, man.
You
told me you followed to a T. You told me you followed to a T.
I know, it was just so
deviate, and you deviated.
It was just so low down on my scanner. I just didn't. I'm
man.
not sorting my scanner the right way. I need to find a better way to sort my scanner.
Damn, dude, this is disappointing, bro. So what are your goals for streaming, man? You want to be bigger than Stock Guy?
Yeah. Do I ever plan to? No.
Why?
You asked me, do I want to be? Yeah, I want to be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like you could. You have a good community, bro. You have like 300 subs. Every time I go in there, like you got a lot of subs. You got a lot of people came.
My community is
really
very
me
nice.
Out today. You have a great community. A lot of people from your stream came in today. Your idea using this thing.
I've got a pretty solid community. I'm really one of the only streamers I see that's been streaming for, I don't know how long you've been streaming. This isn't meant to be like a dig. But I've been streaming for 2.5 years, and I've still got 4 or 5 founders, one of my first 25 subs that are still in my community, still just about every day in there. It's pretty cool. And I'm just, I'm happy where I am. I average 150 viewers a day. I trade every day. We have a lot of fun. I make enough money on Twitch to help subsidize me. I'm not really looking to make money from Twitch. I always say, like, I want to be a trader, right? My source of income is going to be trading. If streaming can help me out a little bit with that, sure, great, fine, happy, dandy, go lucky. But I'm not in this to be a streamer. I honestly love this shit. I wake up every morning and like I sort of fight off that existential dread everybody wakes up with, you know what I mean? With the fact that I get to go stream, right? I just like I think it's better for my mental health than I really care about how big I'm gonna be, the money I'm gonna make, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. What about your trading? Like how far do you want to take it? Dude, like how much money would you need to make from trading to like calm the fuck down? To be like I'm good. I'm doing good. Life's good.
Let me start this question with this. I'm opening my 3rd beer. Dude, I just want to get to the point in anything, and whether it be trading, and hopefully it is, or the job or the streaming, whatever it is, I want to get to a point that I can live off of dividends, right? All the money I make, I'm not spending on cars, whatever, Gucci bags, whatever, it's all getting reinvested into assets that pay me. So when I get to a point where I'm making 200 grand from, relatively safe dividends or money market funds, whatever it be, a combination of both, bonds, whatever, that's when I'm happy with the amount of money I have. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
dude,
what that number is relatively high, but
no, that is actually hella relatable too. I've thought about doing like a similar thing, and I've thought about taking all the money I make from stream, which is like very little, and just putting it into like some sort of index fund. Vega with the 100 bits saying "chug it, pussy," and there he is chugging back like half of it.
You get a little one. You get a little one for 100 bits.
Yeah,
like 1,000. I'll finish it, Vega.
Yeah, yo, send 1,000 bits, Vega. I'm poor. Yo, I'm gonna grab another beer if you don't mind. I'll be right back, okay?
Yeah, very good.
I'm gonna grab another beer. You have another like 20 minutes, or you gotta go in like 7?
No, I'm
All
safe.
right.
However
All
long
right.
you want to go,
All
really.
right. We'll go another 20 minutes. I'm just gonna grab another beer.
Cool.
Chat,
So
don't
chat,
talk,
while
okay?
he's gone, let's all I don't know. Are you guys drinking? No one else is drinking, right? I mean, it's a Monday night. I'm the only one drinking. What's up, everybody? By the way, Vega, how you doing? Flight, how you doing? Tim, hello, how are you doing? A lot of people in here from my community. People from Terrible Traders community. How you guys doing? How you guys getting on? Make sure you guys are all. I don't know if his stream's on follower only, chat. But make sure you guys all follow this channel. Terrible Trader's a great guy. He's a lot of fun. If you guys can't already tell. Make sure you guys are followed up over here. Show him some love. I think he's trying to stream every day this year. I mean, he has a counter on his title, 71 out of 365. He's streaming every day this year, weekends included. He was on the other night ago. It was like a Saturday night. I was watching the stream, and he was gambling on NBA 2K video games. Some like Russian website he was on, gambling on video game basketball. It was lit.
Oh, who, me?
Yeah, you. What website was that? You were talking about how it's got to be so rigged, and I'm like, dude, 100%, bro.
100%. Yeah. No, it's actually the biggest. It's actually the biggest, one of the biggest sports books in the world. It's Bet365. I don't know if it's legal in America.
Oh,
but
no
it's legal
shit.
everywhere else.
Yeah, dude. If someone comes and drops like 10K on a game, they immediately are getting microphoned. All right, you need to lose. You need to lose.
100%, dude, and you can't even hear them. There's definitely shady shit going on. But me and my friends actually were making money on before they updated the game. Yo, random thought. I just thought about this. Obviously, without us getting banned, I almost feel silly for not shorting Bud Light. I should have shorted the shit out of Bud Light.
Yeah, dude, it's one of those things. It's one of those things where it's like, dude, it reminds me so much, and it always hurts me to talk about this, and I'm not going to change the subject, and I'll come back to it, but dude, you look at Zoom, look at CarMax, look at Teladoc, look at Moderna, all of these fucking stocks that were flying during COVID that you know after lockdown is over, all of these stocks are returning to pre-COVID levels. And they all have, hell, a lot of them are even worse than pre-COVID levels. And it's like, why the fuck was I not shorting that? It's one of those things I want to get better at in my trading too, is taking advantage of obvious moves, right? Adding a little bit of discretion to my system, like when Bud Light, like when the controversy comes out, hey, the stock is going to see some downward pressure. They're facing a lot of controversy. People are going to be scared going into next earnings, because I believe next earnings, because the earnings they just had didn't really cover when the protests started, right? So next earnings are kind of when everyone's going to look at the sales numbers and see really how impactful it was. But yeah, it's very like obvious shit like that it's like, dude, why didn't I take it? Like, what the hell was I thinking?
Yeah. I agree.
I haven't even looked at the stock. I didn't realize
that.
It was that low.
Oh yeah, well, I think it had like its fucking first update. Every time I open it for the past couple of weeks, it's always down. But I was talking about that similar thing on my stream that night that you were there. I don't know if it was like Saturday or Sunday, where I also want to get better at just fucking taking the obvious trades. Because dude, if you're around this market for 8 years, like you and me have been, you see those obvious trades at least 1 to 2 times a year.
Dude, AI, like everybody and their mother was talking about AI. I looked at the stock, it's trading at $13. And like, obviously, hey, the AI bubble is starting. Right. It went to fucking 40 plus. Like,
yeah, 100%. You should have bought it.
And I think it's still, I mean, I knock on wood, and I never make definitive statements about stocks because literally any fucking thing can happen. But I still think AI is just getting started. I think this bubble is still very small.
I agree. We are just getting started. A lot of people, I feel like there's two stances on AI. There's either the people that think AI is going to kill us all, or people that think AI is being compared to crypto hype, or just other hypes in the past. Do you think the AI hype is different?
No, I think the AI bubble can be very similar to the internet bubble, if not fucking way bigger than the internet bubble. And once again, Is it likely? No, of course not. Is AI, the stock AI going to go up to 120? Is Nvidia going to go up another 50%? Is it likely? No. I'm not sitting here saying that's going to happen. Yeah, but is it possible? I think hell yeah. I think hell yeah, it's possible. You know what I mean?
Did you see?
And then, of course, I also think it's going to get fucking murdered too. Like, don't marry these valuations, right? These valuations are fucked. I think they are going to get murdered. But is Nvidia going to get murdered from where's it currently trading? Is 400 the top, or is it going to get murdered from 700?
Yeah.
Don't try to time the tops of bubbles. You're just not going to. It's not worth it. Enjoy the front side. Enjoy the hype while it's here.
Yeah, someone in chat put, Palantir, Tim Martin said Palantir will outrun AI. I know Palantir isn't people say that it's an AI. I don't know anything about Palantir. I just know that people told me to buy it at $40 and it went.
No one knows anything about Palantir. They keep saying on their earnings reports that we do security, cybersecurity for like the government and stuff, so we can't really tell you what we do.
Which is interesting. Like, there are people that buy it knowing that they don't know, but that's like bullish to them. That's bullish. There are some people that think like this mystique is inherently like a bullish thing.
And maybe it is. I mean, I don't know anything about the fundamentals of Palantir. I've never looked into it. Maybe it is. I'm not trying to hate or anything. Yeah.
Have you ever looked into getting into fundamentals? Like, I always like the idea of getting into fundamentals, but I'm aware that it's like it's a rabbit hole. That if I start going down that rabbit hole of fundamentals, it's gonna go just as deep as this whole fucking technical analysis bullshit. Probably deeper.
I think fundamental trading at a high level is important. So I will pull up the Yahoo statistics page for a stock, and I will look at their market cap versus their revenue, and then I'll look at their debt versus their cash and their debt versus their EBITDA to get a high level understanding of what a stock does. I think you start delving into, I'm going to read the 10K and I'm going to do this and do this and do that. It's not useless. Nothing's useless. If you spend the time to do that, that's great. But guess what else is doing that at a way, way, way higher level than you will ever be able to do, and it's computers, right? I think fundamental analysis is getting extremely overbaked in by, we're having this conversation about AI, but by AI, by these funds that are using these supercomputers to delve into the numbers and decide what the price of the stock should be. I think you start playing that game, you are even way more so trying to outperform computers, which you're not going to do.
Yeah. You said earlier that you were looking at Twitter, people shorting low float stocks. It sounds like you kind of have an itch to do it. And you said you didn't want to do it, Trey, but I don't believe you, bro. What, you wouldn't be looking at it. It sounds like you have an itch to do it.
The only reason I don't want to do it is because of fees. And maybe that's stupid, but when you start getting into shorting low float stocks, you got to pay locate fees. You got to find the shares to borrow across multiple brokerages and compare fees and take the one with the lowest fees. And it sounds like a lot of work, honestly. But there's a lot of money to be made in it. And also the thing about it, we had this conversation earlier, but I'm a continuation trader. The way I see the market is if a trend is moving, it's more likely to continue than it's not. That's how I see the market. So that's how I trade the market. Everybody sees the market differently, though. There's a lot of people that make a lot of money reversal trading, right? If the stock is really dipping, they buy it, or if it's really ripping, they short it. And they make a shitload of money doing that. There's obviously nothing wrong with that. There's no one way to trade the market. It's just not how I see it, right? Like it's not the pattern that fits my recognition.
Yeah. Yo, what did you think of the whole GME and AMC shit when it was going down? You were obviously an experienced trader. What was your thoughts on that shit?
I did very well. I made over $4,500 on AMC. I did pretty well on it.
Okay.
And that, funnily enough, at the time, I was trading a gap close reversal swing trade strategy. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I ended up getting long. I want to say at like 16 because it gapped up and then like came down and got close to closing that gap. So I longed according to my strategy at the time, and it just obviously ripped. and I scaled a little bit out every day. I think my best exit was 59.99. I sold right into 60. And then the next day I got stopped out. I think when it broke below 54 or something like that, I got stopped out of the rest. But yeah, I did very well. It's just a gamma squeeze. And it's, listen, the thing about AMC and GME is they happen 3 or 4 times a year. AMC and GME are not some kind of one-off, holy shit, look at what the market's doing. Stocks do multiple thousands of percents a couple times a year. It's not some new thing. For whatever reason, I guess, be it all the media attention around Wall Street bets, it became really, really popular. But it's not, it's not some new thing. Look at Kodak. Look at I'm going to struggle. 2.5 beers deep. I'm going to struggle to think off the top of my head. Just go look at the Kodak part. Kodak's a fun one. Tilray's a fun one. Yeah.
Tilray was around the same time, but yeah, there was Kodak, Tilray.
These multiple huge 1,000% runners, 3 or 4 times a year, you get them. It's just huge gamma squeezes. They're way over shorted by market makers. And market makers are only allowed to assume. Actually, I don't think they're allowed to assume any risk, whatever that means. So whenever they enter, say they're in a short, they also have to be in calls. So as they're trying to re-short these things, they also have to buy calls, which causes even more squeeze, which is why these things happen, right? And they do. I mean, gamma squeezes happen sometimes. It's not often, but yeah, I think kind of the huge blow up of holy shit, oh my God, AMC and GME was a little overhyped. And I think that people are still very, very over attached to the stocks as well. You still see people saying AMC is going to $1,000 a share all over Twitter.
Yeah, no, I think, and listen, I know there might be one person in chat who's like this, and to you, I just want to say that I apologize for nothing, but it's mental illness. Like, you are mentally ill. You're mentally ill. These people have mental illnesses. It really, I don't know what's wrong with them.
Hey, someone clip it, chat. Someone clip it.
At first, I thought it was first I was like, maybe they're just ignorant, But then I realized, no, these people are mentally ill. And the saddest part about all this is, I don't know if you remember, but there used to be Twitter spaces for these apes, okay? And every time I would go into these spaces, it would be like, people would be like, yeah, so I'm a veteran. I lost my leg in the war. That's obviously awful, right? I lost my leg in the war, and, I'm poor and my family's struggling, but buying AMC has given me hope. Buying AMC has really brought my life together. And then the next person will come up. They'll be like, it'll be like a hoorah, like, oh my God, thank you so much, thank you so much. Then the next person would come up and they would be like, I'm dying of this rare illness. I have no money. Buying AMC has given me hope. And then they're all like, oh my God, you're so inspirational. Yes, buy AMC. So then I think to myself, not only are these fucking people mentally ill, buying a stock they think is going to mow ass, which is never going to happen, but they're all in really bad predicaments, which makes everything even worse.
And that's why, I think that's why, because I know what you're talking about. I've seen a lot of that too, but it's the, they're ready to get rich quick now because of what they're going through,
Right.
It's just not, it's unfortunate. And another guy I flamed nearly as much as Atlas Trading. Funnily enough, his name is Trey Trades.
Oh my God, that guy.
I hate that guy so much because he's the guy, man. When AMC was trading at $60, he's posting all over Twitter how AMC is going to 5,000, going to 10,000. He's the one shilling to his followers to go. And it's not just him. Tara Bull, she's I believe that's her
she
name
blocked me a long time ago, bro.
She's another one. There's so many people that are making a living and are continuing to make a living off of shilling AMC. They make so much, dude. Trade would post a video every day and it'd get 100,000 views every day. I don't know if you're on YouTube, but in the finance space, my CPM is like $25 to $30 for every 1,000 views. These people that are shilling these stocks and getting hundreds of thousands of views for doing it are making a fuckload of money doing it.
Yeah.
They're not trading. They're just shilling. They're using what's it called? Social engineering to just make money. And fair enough, they're very good at it, but I have to call it out whenever I see it.
Yeah. Has everyone ever come into your chat and made the joke? It's like, oh, I've seen you on YouTube. You're the MC guy, Trey.
Yeah, dude. So when AMC was happening, I was pulling 400 viewers a day, and very often it was people that thought I was him. So shout out, hey, you know what? Fair enough. He got me a lot of views.
No fucking way, dude.
Yeah, dude. I had a shitload of viewers during the AMC hype, and I think it was largely because people thought I was him.
All right, I'm gonna ask you two more questions. We're gonna put an end to this. The second last question is, give me your most fucking traumatic moment in the market. I'm talking about when you had that depression where you didn't want to get out of bed. Don't lie to me and tell me that it didn't happen at least once.
Today.
Oh my god, bro! You're not $1,200. Calm down. Calm down.
I mean, it's happened. I've blown 2 accounts. I can't tell you on exactly what trades they were. But both times I blew accounts, I was doing okay. I was largely break even, maybe down a little bit of money. It would just be one day where like my max lost $100, but oh my God, I'm down 175. So I freak out, I oversize, I try to make it back, and then it turns into, oh well, I've lost 1,500 and my account's gone. I've done that twice. And like I said, I can't tell you exactly what trades they were, but accounts are blown in one day. Accounts aren't blown over. You're not, oh, I lost $100 every day for 6 months and then I blew my account. That hardly to rarely ever happened. It's almost always one day of traumatic over trading, emotional trading, oversizing. So that's something, and I don't know if I have a how you should do it example, but that's something you've really got to look to curve. And I've done it twice, and both of those times there's a hole in the wall above my stove. It's very small, but I walked out of my office and I chucked my fucking pen across the kitchen.
Oh my God.
that was 4 years ago at this point, but it's actually not even in this house. I pointed like it's in this house, but it's in a house I lived in before. Yeah, so I've been in a couple situations like that.
Trey, what is your number one trade right now? Gun to head. Gun to head,
AI.
you have to put money. AI, but like what? AI, just like AI,
No,
the ticker?
The ticker, yeah.
The ticker AI.
I think, and it's not because of C3.ai Inc. And I have no idea what this company does. I just think that the AI bubble is young. And as you are seeing with this stock, it's one people are flocking to because it has the ticker AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
and
just people hear about AI and they run and buy this stock,
Not only does it have the ticker AI, but they actually do some AI shit. Like
yeah, I looked at their website. They're helping like the Air Force develop the F-35 or something like that. Like they're doing cool shit too.
Yeah.
But that's my trade, and like I said, is it likely to go to 120? No. But I think if I could pick a stock right now that has, hey, Trey, what stock is the most likely to do 100% in the next 3 months? I think it's AI. Do I think it's likely? Do I think it's going to happen? No, of course not. But if you ask me what's the most likely bagger, I would pick that.
Fair enough. Yo, Trey, man, thank you so much for coming on the show, brother. I will keep on tuning into your streams every once in a while, see what you're up to, and I hope that your strategy on your new stocks makes you some money, and I hope that you can build your Tesla position size to 60,000, 68,000. He just crushed three beers, everybody. What an absolute fucking legend. So
yeah, yo, I appreciate you. This was a lot of fun. If you ever want to do it again, just let me know.
100%, bro. I had fun too. Yeah, man. We're gonna run this back a few months from now when some more developments happen, and we'll look back on this call on AI because you know what? I'm with you. I agree. I think AI probably does double. So we'll look.
So
back
when AI is $10 in a couple of months, we can all laugh at me. Yeah.